Hey, what's going on, movie lovers? Shut Up, I Like This podcast where we talk about how much we like movies and we don't hate film.
Try not to, anyway.
There's not a lot that we don't like.
Yeah.
I'm Jeff,
I'm Kyle.
of course. And
as always, I hope.
as promised, we are talking about Warcraft today. A film that I really enjoy a lot.
Yeah, I really had to twist your hand behind your back to
Right,
get you to
yeah.
talk about Warcraft. I don't even know if we looked up the Rotten Tomatoes score when I suggested it. You were just like, yes, let's do let's do Warcraft. That's a good idea.
Yeah. And this is... Oh, drop my pen. Dang it. This might be a little bit... I mean, we are going to talk about the movie. We're going to talk about actors. But before we get into any of that, of course, I want to talk about the games.
Sure.
Because this is a fun comparison.
We're a
different sides of...
legion apart from one another on our knowledge of Warcraft. And it's an interesting conversation to have because it ties into what some critics say about the film.
Right. But how we both enjoy it.
I know, even though you're a fan, you've played the games, I think it's cool. I've just never played any of it.
Right.
And I still enjoyed the film.
Which is awesome. I think it is very much, it's just a fantasy film that can kind of set aside from the game stigma.
Yeah.
That average people can still go in and enjoy.
Yeah. And then see, I'm a big fan of like the fantasy genre in the first place, like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, Elder Scrolls, all that shit.
Right.
And of course I play games and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not turned off because it's a video game adaptation to begin with. So like I think, and of course, as you guys know, I go into movies trying to enjoy them. Like I don't go to a movie with the idea of, I'm gonna have a bad time. That's just not what I do. So I think
You don't?
No.
You're on a podcast called Shut Up, I Like This.
Yeah, you know, it's a novel concept. Everyone should try it. Like, go to a movie with the idea of, I'm going to have a good time, and you might actually enjoy the fucking film.
So, right off the bat, something that might be kind of confusing to just kind of the general viewers.
Sure.
Is called Warcraft. And a lot of people associate with World of Warcraft, of course.
Which is what I did.
Which is true, but the story and kind of the characters and stuff are based off of the first Warcraft game, the real-time strategy game from the early 90s. But as it progresses, I mean, there's like a whole trilogy of Warcraft games, and then World of Warcraft, it started in 2004.
That's the big MMO
right,
one.
Huge. I got sucked into it off and on for years, and it's. I mean, the story and the characters are very much from the old Warcraft, but I mean the world, Ironforge, Stormwind, all of that you can find. It's in the World of Warcraft game as well. It's just the story and characters are from that first Warcraft game, and I think that kind of confused a lot of the general public when they went to go see it. Maybe if they kind of knew what World of Warcraft was and stuff, and maybe because I think a lot of the reviews were like the story and then the characters are like, what's going on? It's from Warcraft. It's not World of Warcraft. It is, but it's not.
I understand what you're saying with that.
And so okay, let's do this from my viewpoint of playing the game.
Sure.
Holy shit, there's so much. I'm not even that, like, there are people who, like, this is a religion. I mean, it's huge.
Oh yeah, trust me.
I've played the Warcraft games. I played WoW for off and on 6 years, 7 years. So I know a lot of the lore. I know about Thrall, who we'll talk about. And just the characters and saying, oh my god, look at that. And look, oh, it's him. Or just the Murloc you get a glance of before they go to Goldshire. The tavern itself in Goldshire, it's an exact replica. And it's like, oh my god, I've been there.
I think that's cool for the fans.
Yeah,
they throw that stuff in, and even from
things.
my perspective, it's just like a cool fantasy location.
Right.
Is what I dug out of it. So even though I don't maybe can spit off all the names of all the places they've been to,
Right.
what was the one, the town, the Stormwind? Stormwind.
Oh my god.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
Like that was like a cool location, and I thought. Like I enjoyed all of that and all the magic casting. I thought was really cool because it reminded me of like being a big Marvel fan of like the Doctor Strange kind of stuff. How when they cast it, you seen like the runes and stuff that went around it, and
that's a lot
really
of
neat.
like the arcane magic. Like the mages, I mean, there's like fire, ice, arcane.
Yeah.
It's kind of the three main tiers. And a lot of the magic in this is arcane, and you see like the arcane missiles when he fires at the golem. A lot of the teleports and stuff. The arcane auras and stuff are just like straight out of
lifted from the game.
It's amazing.
See, that's cool. That's cool fan service.
There's a lot of nuances and stuff, and while it's not like a tick for tack complete, it's an adaptation, of a story, and so like there are some things that are changed.
Yeah.
Even I'm not the biggest Warcraft 1 person, but I'm like, hey, wait a minute, didn't he die? But that's with anything. You look at comics, you look at anything.
We say that all the time.
Any adaptation is going to have changes.
It's adaptations. There should be changes. It shouldn't be one for one from the source material, because then what's the point?
Yeah.
Like like you've got to make things different because it's a movie or a television show. Like you have to.
And I understand, like, I mean, I'm a fan. I'm a big gamer. I was a big WoW gamer. I understand kind of the backlash. Like, that's not the story. I get that. Because, I mean, like, if you change the Batman story.
Oh, sure.
In Thomas Wayne, I mean, there's different universes. But, I mean, if the Batman storyline, his parents are killed, I mean, if that was altered in a movie, and it wasn't like the parallel universe, like they just flat out changed it,
I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed off.
Yeah, I mean, so I get it.
To be fair, I do think there's a little bit of a difference. Like, I think Warcraft is a large enough universe that you can make little adjustments and shifts to the story and do things different and maybe tell characters in a different way. That I think that it's okay to play within. It's a big sandbox, in my opinion.
I completely agree. I kind of get the backlash.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, I
mean, it would be like, I'll use the example of like if they ever made an Elder Scrolls film. I think that would be really cool. I don't know how the hell you would do that, but Elder Scrolls is such a cool universe, and I think that they have enough mythology in place that, like, I would be on board for playing around in that universe. And I feel like, from the comments that I read from, like, hardcore Warcraft fans, is they seem to enjoy the film because a lot of what you said was they liked seeing parts of the game up on the big screen.
Very tick for tack.
Yeah, people thought that was really cool, and this is why we're talking about it, because it has a really high user score. On Rotten Tomato, it is, what, 77%?
77.
But then the critics only gave it a really low 27? 20,
yeah.
Was it 27?
27. There's a 50% difference.
That is a big friggin' difference, and I don't think all of that is just... I'm a fan of Warcraft, I get to see orcs on screen for the first time. Like, you can't attribute it all to just fans of the game.
Right.
Yeah, like, I think that there's more to it than just that. Like, people like me clearly like this film.
A lot of people.
As well, too.
Yeah.
And it made a lot of money overseas.
Oh, yeah.
Like, a lot of money in the overseas market. Like...
That's where a lot of the game... I mean, the U.S. market is just a small portion of all online gaming, but especially this franchise, Asia is huge, Europe, huge. The U.S. is just such a small fraction of it.
And those were the countries where it made, like, bank at the box office.
I read it, like, broke a record in China for like a weeknight opening.
Yeah.
Made like $8.5 million.
think it is the most successful video game adaptation film.
I wonder.
I think is what I read is, and that's even, like you said, it bombed in the U.S. I mean, any way you look at it, you look at the budget, and I don't have the numbers in front of me. I don't know if you wrote it down.
I didn't write down.
I think it made like 40 its opening weekend versus what was it, 160?
Yeah, it was like 4 times as much across seas.
Yeah, and then overseas it did like 300 and some. So that's a pretty big difference. And I really don't understand. We talked about that a little bit before we started recording. Why it did so poorly in the States and did so well in the overseas market.
Well, if I can quote a YouTube comment I saw earlier.
Sure.
Stupid Americans.
Yeah?
Nitpicky
I
Americans.
mean, yeah.
Have to bitch and complain about everything Americans.
Yes. You're not fucking wrong. Isn't that part of the reason why we do this show? Is to talk about the fact that it's fucking okay to like movies.
Yeah.
That like you can like things. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing's gonna happen to you.
Yeah.
Like you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into let's discuss the film itself. Let's get into your first experience.
Did I see it in the Webster Theater? Did it come here to town, Jeff? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I don't remember if I seen it in theaters or not. I know for sure I bought it on Blu-ray at Family Video when it came out, because that's where I buy a lot of my stuff.
Right,
but,
me too.
Yeah, I was, and you know what? Maybe this is partially people like me, my fault. I was super into all of the marketing, all of the posters. The movie looked great, and then like you with John Carter, I didn't go support it in theaters. So I'm kind of being hypocritical here on this podcast a little bit.
The two of us can't see everything.
I would love.
I'd love to.
I would love to see everything.
It's just not physically possible.
Yes, but you know, I bought it as soon as it came out.
Right. That's still supporting it.
Yeah.
So.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
Clearly,
awesome.
That's why we're here talking about it. Actually, the poster for World of Warcraft is one of my favorite movie posters because it's got the blade coming down, and one half is like orange war paint of an orc, and the other half is blue war paint of like a human.
Yep.
And it's just a fucking cool poster.
I like it too.
Like that is a really neat one sheet. Like I like posters. A lot of them are like the Marvel posters, where it's all of the characters splashed together, and that's cool, but that runs together. Like, I like posters that are different and unique, and I thought that all of the shit for Warcraft stood out. Like, that poster stood out in my mind.
Yeah, I really
it's
like
something
it.
really cool.
I kept looking at, because I was watching it today, I kept looking at the cover. I was looking at everything. I like that blade too, and the paint, and I was flipping over and looking at everything. It just looks good.
Yeah.
And when you watch the movie, again, like everything looks, I mean, as I was watching it, I saw, 2 or 3 things with the CGI. I was like, brr. But I mean, for the most part, the motion capture, the CGI, I mean, they're creating this entire world, high fantasy world.
Yeah.
And it looks good.
Like, with all of the orcs on screen, I was thinking, this is like doing The Incredible Hulk times 1,000.
Right? That's a lot.
In a lot of shots. Like, there was a lot of orcs on screen. And so, yeah, you're right.
Orcs fighting each other, orcs fighting humans.
And it was pretty brutal. Like, there was some weight to those big hammers when they're hitting people. And there's a scene where there's like an orc on a human, and he fucking smashes the dude's head in the ground.
Yeah.
Like, and there's some weight behind that shit too. So
good shit.
Yeah, in places it maybe looks a little cutscene from a video game on some of the CG, but it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay for what they were trying to do. This shit doesn't exist
exactly
in real life. Yeah. Like, they're making this all up.
Yeah, I had to do everything.
Yeah,
everything.
Yep.
I saw this. I didn't see it in theater, but we rented it, video on demand. And we're at my mom's house, and their internet's not quite as quick. So freaking the
VCR quality,
fuzzy.
Yeah, I hate that.
That was my first experience watching it, and then as soon as it came out, same thing. I bought the Blu-ray, and then I rewatched it, and it's like I missed so much. I missed so much the first time, and that that first experience kind of took away from like taking this whole world in. I feel like if I had seen it first and it was just clear and I got to see everything, like it just would have hit me so much more.
Yeah.
But it's like, it was like rewinding a VHS and seeing the movie, and then you go back and watch it again. It's like, you know what's going to happen, but now you can see it.
I know. I have that problem. I don't like 3D movies. I have a problem with the 3D effect. It makes me nauseous in theaters.
Oh, okay.
And so sometimes, like, you'll go with friends or whatever, and you'll be, you're gonna watch it in fucking 3D. And so there's a lot of movies that I'm like, I've seen it, and I liked it in theaters, but I can't wait for it to come out on Blu-ray so I can watch the movie and actually see the damn thing, because it's in normal, not 3D.
Right.
Yeah, I totally know what you mean.
That would be rough.
Yep.
You have a favorite scene?
I do. I really like the scene where there's the small group of orcs that are basically, death magic or whatever they call it is like, is going to ruin, this planet as well too. And so they have that meeting with the humans for the first time, and then it ends up being a booby trap, and it turns into a big fight scene. And then you've got the, what's the name of the character that's on the top of the mountain?
Medivh.
Medivh. What do they call him? They call him something cool. Because it reminded me...
Guardian?
It reminded me of Destiny. The video game, because Guardians and Destiny.
Yep.
So he's the Guardian.
Yep.
And then he shoots the big fucking, like, lightning shield down around him. That whole scene is really good.
Especially like Lorthar's son.
Yeah, he dies in that scene.
And he has giant fucking balls too. And he's like, for Azeroth. And he just turns around and starts trying to take on the entire fucking legion of orcs.
That is the scene that I think I would point to if someone was like, I don't know if I would like Warcraft or not. Go to YouTube, watch this scene. If you like this scene, you should watch the rest of the film. Okay. Like, I think that is a pretty good kind of like what this movie is. Yeah. I think so anyway.
There's a lot of action. There's a lot of magic in that scene, and you get to see the humans and orcs. Two different tribes of orcs. I was really into the tribes of orcs. I thought that was cool, that they all looked different, and some of them had, like, I don't know, it looked like dragon skulls and shit, like, on their shoulders, and some of them had different war paint, and some were more green, some were more different colored, and that was neat shit. I'm glad you
That's
like
neat
that.
shit,
That's cool
dude.
shit.
I like it. Like, I love the world of this film.
You need to fucking play.
Yeah, I know.
I was saying before we started, I bet, like, maybe the first Warcraft, they've got to be free by now, or maybe like $5 on Steam or something.
Yeah, and you know what?
Really give it a try.
I bought the Blu-ray. Come to think of it, I must have bought the Blu-ray new because I had all the digital codes and everything inside of it, and I think it comes with like a voucher for something free.
I think
a free trial or the free first game. I'll have to see if
I think it's WoW Classic you get. You can download it.
I'll have to see if it's still like.
Because that would be...
If it hasn't expired or not.
Right. I don't know. It's been a couple of years.
2016, but...
Yeah, I don't know. But you should look into it.
Yeah.
For sure. And if not, look into like Warcraft 1 and 2 and 3 on Steam or something.
Yeah, they're probably cheap.
Just online. Yeah. God damn, that's good shit.
Yeah.
My favorite scene, if I had to pick... all the battle scenes are fucking great. I think that's the strongest point of the film is all the battles. It's very, like, Two Towers-y. There's a lot of great over-the-head battle shots of orcs and humans and colliding and shit. I think my favorite one, I like when Lothar's son dies. That's a good scene. I like the end. There's kind of two parts of it.
When they were storming
Durotan confronts... what's his face? Man, the main bad guy.
We did 2 movies in a row where don't ask me character names.
Like, I know.
Between this and John Carter, like, don't ask me what anyone's name is.
Right. Yeah. But Durotan challenges the main fell guy to a fight, and
was he the one that was like cloaked with the?
Yep, he's like the shaman. Okay. With all the fell magic and suck life out of people and
death. I don't know what it was called, but death magic is what I came to in my mind because you're like sucking the life out of everything to.
Oh, Gul'dan.
Yeah, okay.
So Durotan challenges Gul'dan. Gul'dan ends up cheating and uses his magic, and it's not a fair fight. And then that kind of leads into the huge Stormwind battle where they open up the portal. And at the meanwhile, they're fighting Ben Foster and the Golem and shit, and then he turns around the portal, makes it into Stormwind. All hope's coming back. People are getting back into Stormwind.
That's a good scene.
And then just the king, he's like, hey, we need to end this. You know, kill me. And he, like, Dominic Cooper, he takes oh my God, just that whole thing.
That one little brief part, I kind of thought was a little tacky.
Yeah.
Where he was explaining to her, like, you have to kill me. But there was no urgency. Like, there was no real urgency. Like, they were just, like, standing.
Oh, right in the middle of the battle. They do that a lot in these
films.
I
kind of imagine that maybe we were supposed to be inferring that it was, I don't want to say, like, time had stood still, but maybe, you know, it was like the battle was going slow for them because they were having this intense conversation.
Yeah,
I didn't like that specific moment, but other than that, though, that was cool.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But yeah,
it didn't ruin the film for me or anything.
I couldn't believe it. You watch Two Towers, and it's like, how did they do that?
Yeah.
The battle on Helm's Deep. Like, holy shit! And then you watch this, and I mean, it's not quite to that extent, but holy shit, everything CGI, and then you have human actors like fighting with it and grabbing CGI stuff. Like, that's pretty impressive.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. I can't imagine like behind the scenes of that.
I thought they did a really good job.
Yeah.
With the visual styling of the film. And again, it's not that old of a film. It holds up really well. You can watch it. You can basically release this film as is today.
Yeah.
And it would pass off.
Yeah, for sure.
It would pass off.
The CGI is incredible.
Yeah, yep.
That's a huge thing, is for a film that's going to be as CGI extensive as this has to be, because they have to build everything.
Yeah.
They had to have set records or come close to records or something, because I can't imagine. That's so much work.
I really liked the young mage character.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I thought he was cool.
Khadgar?
Yeah, I thought he was cool. It was a good performance. I don't know who the hell the actor was,
Me
but
either.
I liked him.
Yeah.
He'd be one that I should look up on my phone and see what else he's in. I thought he was good. He was interesting. An interesting way to bring, like, us, the audience, into the world.
Wait till you see him in the future.
Yeah. I didn't quite understand what was going on with the Guardian and why he had, like, turned.
That's a part in the story in the first one. He builds the gate.
Yeah.
And he opens the portal and starts letting these people in.
Yeah, and I think they had mentioned that in the film, that he had opened the gate.
Right.
But
the orcs were the ones who were, like, building the portal.
But I don't understand why he opened the gate. Like, I didn't quite.
The fell.
Because it was like
fell in them.
Like that green magic shit was just like.
It's like
being possessed or something.
It's like Venom. You gotta have more. It makes you feel powerful.
Sure.
You gotta keep it flowing.
Sure.
And then he keeps getting weaker and weaker and weaker throughout the film. And you see him, he's struggling.
Yeah, because like every time he uses, like, he did like the blue lightning shield, and then he's like passed out.
Because he needed life, because he was infected with the
film.
And then when he killed...
Okay, see, I really didn't pick up on that in the film, but now that you say that
and then,
makes...
like, the caretaker that he kills, and then he's like, oh, I'm feeling refreshed. It's like, ugh.
Oh, I get that. Maybe that could have been a little more...
clear
in the film. I was a little confused, not knowing full backstories on everything.
For sure, I can see that.
That was probably my biggest question about the film, was that. I think everything else is really pretty straightforward.
I want to talk about some of the actors real quick, because for a film like this that you assume is going to be like this huge blockbuster, it's based on a huge award-winning game franchise. They didn't really have a whole lot of name value behind it. It's
Same as
stuff that
you notice a
John
trend.
Carter.
It's kind of why we did Warcraft and John Carter back to back. It's this really similar kind of issues that you have with them.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, Travis Fimmel, who's Lothar, he is the guy that I was talking about last week that was in The Experiment with Adrian Brody and Forrest Whitaker and stuff. That was the last time I saw him. Like, who the fuck is Travis Fimmel?
Yeah.
And then I see him in this, and he's Lothar. I'm like, wow, that's a huge step, and he's your lead? I'm like, holy shit. Dominic Cooper.
He's in.
He was like.
I wanted to mention. haven't watched it yet, but he's in that.
Oh, okay.
That
he's in
Vikings TV show,
okay, right.
which is why when I was looking at his photo, even though I haven't watched it, you see promotional shit for that all over the place. He looks super familiar. That's why that Vikings show.
Yeah, duh. Yeah, that makes sense.
So maybe if you're a big fan of that Vikings show, you should probably check out Warcraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dominic Cooper, he was in like. He played Howard Stark in Captain America, and he was in like Need for Speed, and I mean he's been around. He's been in some stuff, Beyond Reasonable Doubt or something with Samuel L. Jackson, but he's not a huge name either. And then I mean those are your two biggest names. I mean Ben Foster.
Ben Foster, who I'm looking at,
favorite of mine.
30 Days a Night. What else? Oh, he was Angel in the X-Men.
Right. He's in Punisher as the Pierce guy.
Yeah,
he's in the mechanic.
Was he in Gone in 60 Seconds?
Ben Foster?
Yeah. No, that's the other kid. Never mind.
But I mean, those are your stars that you're banking on for this huge worldwide phenomenon.
Again, you kind of feel like the same thing I said with John Carter. They were banking on the John Carter name selling that franchise. I think they were really banking on because Warcraft is huge. Even if you haven't played it, you probably know what Warcraft is.
Right.
Even like I said, I've been playing Hearthstone on my phone.
See, you are kind of in that world.
Yeah, you just kind of like end up kind of in knowing about it somehow.
Everywhere.
I think that they were thinking that like we can spend more money on special effects instead of actors, and just having Warcraft on the movie will be enough to get people to come see it. Is what I imagine that they were thinking.
And that might be another reason of why Overseas it did so well, is because who the fuck cares who the actors are in China? You know, they don't care about Hollywood actors.
We get really caught up here in the States about
and names
Tom Cruise and oh my god and TMZ shit and whatever,
So, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are like, even if they kind of knew what Warcraft was, World of Warcraft, they've heard of something and they see the movie, but they're like, oh, I don't know any of those people.
Yeah.
There's no big names in it. There's nothing like that. So maybe a lot more people even missed out on it because of that, because of name value.
About the only thing watching it that I would have done is for the orc characters, they're fine the way they are. Because what are you going to do? You're going to cast Ron Perlman to make him all CG? I mean, that would be cool. Because Ron Perlman's cool. But I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to cast a bunch of people and have to pay all their salaries to make them CGI orcs?
Right.
Like, that really doesn't make a lot of sense to do. You could have done some more maybe of the human characters.
Right.
Honestly, I'd have cast some Game of Thrones actors in this shit, because I think that would have been interesting. It's fantasy, and I think you could have maybe, like... You could have gotten
some carryover.
You could have got your Game of Thrones fans to be like, oh my god, like Jon Snow is in the World of Warcraft film. Like, that would have been cool. I'd have fucking watched... Well, of course, I watched Warcraft anyway, but like, yeah, I would have been down for that.
What's his name? Kit Harington?
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan.
See, I like Kit.
There's something with his face. I don't know what it is.
It's the hair. He's got better. He's got better hair than you, Jeff.
Whoa. Let's calm down.
You're hair jealous.
Let's stop it right there. No, it just looks like he's always sad and pouting.
Yeah, I totally get that. He's very pouty on Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it bothers me.
Yep. But like Sean Bean, like you couldn't have cast Sean Bean.
Ooh, that would have been really good.
You could have killed Sean Bean off in the opening of the film somehow. Like, you have to.
No. So
I don't know, man. It's the actor thing is difficult. What do you do?
I mean, I understand it because they wanted to spend more money on effects and CGI and stuff, which makes sense. And then you get people like Dominic Cooper and like, oh, he's the guy he was in Captain America for a little bit, or Ben Foster. Oh, he was in this. Like,
I reckon
kind of like
Ben Foster is one of those actors.
Something with that.
He's one of those actors that, like, my dad would sit down and be like, I recognize him. I don't know I don't know from what. Who is that? But I recognize him.
Like, they were trying to bank enough on that, plus the effects, plus Overseas, I think.
Yeah.
If they weren't relying so much on the Overseas, I think maybe they would have tried to get
Vin Diesel.
Some more people.
Paul Walker, Vin Diesel.
Don't even start.
CGI.
Don't even start.
Orcs and Hondas.
So.
Wait, that was Bright.
Some huge things that like completely amaze me is when you go into Stormwind. Okay, Stormwind is split into districts. They have like the Magic District, the Trade District, stuff
District
like that.
9.
Right. And then all the roofs, like in each district, are a different color.
Okay.
In the film, you see it for a brief moment, but as they're flying over Stormwind, you see like the purple roofs, the blue roofs, and all that stuff. And it's just like little details like that. But then like, as you get into Stormwind, you see the guards. Holy shit, like just the level of detail in the armor and how they look, and it's just like, how do they do that?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I know how they did it, but it's just amazing that they cared enough to pay enough attention to that stuff.
I mean, and again, even as coming from someone who only has like a working knowledge of the games, I know that loot is a big deal. And like the MMO Warcraft, you get more loot and gear and stuff. And so it made sense to me that they would have ornate armor and stuff.
So good.
Because that's just a thing that I know, and like that's Warcraft.
The king's armor with the lion shoulder, and oh my god, it's so good.
Because like people raid for loot and stuff.
The weapons, the swords, the hammers. There's a famous hammer called the Doom Hammer.
That's cool.
That they used as like a model for Duratan's hammer, or is it his who used the Doom Hammer? But the Doom Hammer's in there. There's an axe, I guess. I read about this axe that they have as a sculpture outside Blizzard. They use that as a model. And
cool.
There's just all these little, just tiny details that you see for that. Mm-hmm. And it's like they paid enough attention for that. So it's like you have to watch the Murloc, like, and the sound that it makes.
Yeah.
Like, why does anybody care? But
it's good attention to detail, and it's good fan service.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much of that throughout it that I was more looking... I paid attention to the story, and I was watching and everything, but it's like, oh, what am I going to see next?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, oh my god, look at that armor. Oh my god, the Goldshire Tavern. Which is funny, because in the game, in World of Warcraft, Goldshire is like a tavern, a blacksmith, and maybe a little house. Like, that's it. That's Goldshire. It's like 2 buildings. And it's funny that it's played like a central role in this film. And I don't know, it's just the Stormwind barracks. Ironforge. I wish they would have shown more on Ironforge. Ironforge is really cool because it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a giant forge made by the dwarves. There's this huge forge in the middle, and there's molten everywhere. And all Ironforge is a circle with the forge in the middle.
Sure.
And they were like, where they were at was like right in the middle.
Cool.
And so like, there's so much more around the rim and stuff that I wanted to see, but just the fact that I was kind of bummed. I understand that the story takes place for Warcraft 1. Mm-hmm. And so there was stuff that you didn't get to see, like Night Elves and like that world. And there was no gnomes. I wanted to see some fucking gnomes, but there's no
I had made a mental note of that they only briefly touched upon like the elves and the dwarves Like there was that round table scene where you see him a little bit.
And I think those were high elves. Those weren't the night elves from World of Warcraft. They were like, those are from Warcraft. But
Okay.
it's just, it's kind of weird how they did it by taking the story and characters from one, but trying to add all the stuff from World of Warcraft.
Sure.
Which, I mean, it's still confusing,
yeah.
but it's just hard to...
I would have liked to have seen them expand upon, more of the elves and more of the other races maybe would have played a role in it, would have been interesting. But this also comes back to, again, same as John Carter, this was supposed to be a trilogy. And it's not 100% dead that a 2 will never happen.
Right.
But they're not, as of this recording, they're not like actively developing it.
Which is funny because, like, if you look on Rotten Tomatoes maybe, and IMDb, it's Warcraft the beginning.
Yeah.
But when you buy it, it's just Warcraft.
And from what I read from the director, because he was the director and then the co-writer, they were going to get into all of that shit in part 2. Just like John Carter was going to explore deeper. Like part 2 was going to be more about the other races and the elves and the dwarves and all of that stuff. And it was supposed to be a trilogy. Part 2, it was going to be that the orc baby from this film was going to be grown up.
Fuck, that's Thrall.
Yeah.
He becomes like this resurgent orc leader.
So, and that was supposed to be the end of the trilogy, was part 3, where he becomes like the leader
bitch.
And there's supposed to be a big battle or something in the third film.
Because there's 3 wars. Yeah.
Yes, where he had described it as like Lord of the Rings epic, big, huge, envisioned battle with all of the races and all of the... Yeah, so thank you, critics, for fucking the film up for us.
There was nothing, when this was first announced, there was nothing more I wanted to see than a gnome mage. I wanted to see any kind of gnome, really. Yeah. Gnomes are so awesome. They're so funny, but I'll take everything else. We got to see Elwyn Forest. That's a big thing in the beginning of World of Warcraft as a human. You start in Elwyn Forest, and there's Goldshire and Stormwind and different mines and stuff, but yeah, I mean, for a world, I understand why they called it Warcraft. It is the orcs and humans story, stuff like that, but there's so much out there. There's so much lore. There's so much more world.
I sincerely hope that they can come up with a sequel to this film.
If they made, that much money overseas,
yeah,
I mean, can't you kind of bank on that this time?
That's part of the hope that
pander to them, and then people like you and me will see Warcraft 2.
Yeah, that's part of the hope that people will go online as they point to Pacific Rim. And Pacific Rim was a fucking great movie. I don't know why it didn't do well at the box office in the States, but it did phenomenal numbers worldwide. Yeah. And so that was why we got a Pacific Rim 2. Also, Guillermo del Toro, even though he didn't direct the film, but having his name attached to it kind of helps. If we could get Guillermo del Toro to do a Warcraft film, hey, that would be amazing.
Something, oh man, completely forgot what I was going to say. What do you think of, from somebody who hasn't played the games, what do you think of him turning the guard into a sheep?
That was funny.
Because that's a thing.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's called Polymorph. It's a mage spell. And I think since Warcraft 3, maybe? I think since Warcraft 3. Has been in the franchise ever since, but that's a real thing. You can turn, like, humanoids and critters and stuff into a sheep for, up to a minute.
I thought it was really funny, and I like the way that they explained it, too, being like, it only works on the simple-minded, it'll last, like, a minute.
Right. Which is fun. I think it does last a minute. Yeah. But only in like player versus environment. If you're in PvP and you cast it on like another person, I think it lasts like 8 seconds.
Yeah.
And people can always, like, fucking ass. Every class can get out of it, so it's pretty much pointless to polymorph anybody. But, like,
I thought it was funny. I thought it was cool.
I think that's cool that people who haven't played or gotten polymorphed before think that that's funny and cool.
I thought it was funny. Like,
like, what worries me is people going like, why the fuck is he a sheep? That's ridiculous. So they wouldn't accept it.
Yeah.
Like, who would do that? Like, fucking Warcraft would do that. Like, that's a thing.
Yeah.
I just want people to, like, realize that.
I don't know. Like, it's fantasy.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, totally.
We talked about Travis Fimmel and Dominic Cooper and stuff. Daniel Wu from Into the Badlands and stuff. He was in the new Tomb Raider. He was Gul'dan. He was the evil orc, the evil fell orc. I would have no idea. If you gave me 100 guesses,
I wouldn't.
I would have never guessed Daniel Wu.
No.
Even watching it, I'm like, are you is IMDb lying to me?
Yeah.
There's no way. But yeah, I guess that's Daniel Wu. I would have never guessed that.
It's pretty cool.
It's amazing.
I want to watch Into the Badlands. That's a show that
Me too.
I really feel
we were
like
talking about
I know.
that.
I really feel like I need to get into that.
Yeah, I think I would really like it.
Finish up whatever I'm watching. Maybe I'll start that.
I'm stuck on so many things right now. So, we've kind of touched on it, but after watching this, do you think you'd be more inclined? Before, I'm sure you were always kind of interested in the Warcraft franchise.
Yeah.
But does this make you like more inclined to try out the games?
Yes.
Or does it kind of like, oh, if that was the movie, I've seen it. What do I need to?
Like I told you, my biggest stopping point was always being confused because I feel like there's so much.
There's too much.
There's so much expansion packs and everything else that I've never known where to jump in. And then also, like, sometimes not saying anything about the Warcraft community, but online communities in general can be shit for new players. And I've always felt that one that's as established as Warcraft, unless that, like, if I was playing with you,
right,
and you were, like, bringing me into your clan, then it would be fine. But as a solo player, how do you get in without everyone being like, you fucking noob, you fucking go kill yourself?
I can see that.
That's always a little disheartening.
Okay, here's a question for you. If you were to play, do you think you would want to be Horde or Alliance?
I don't know, because I really don't.
Okay, Horde is like the orcs, trolls, taurens.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see taurens, or trolls.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a bummer. And then Alliance is, humans, gnomes.
Well,
night
usually
elves.
when I play, like, Elder Scrolls, I usually go, like, heavy in magic and spell casting.
It don't matter.
Does that matter at all on what race you pick? Or?
Well, yeah, no. I mean, with the classes on the Alliance side, classes on the Horde side, each race, it depends on the race, not the Alliance.
Not the Alliance.
Or the Horde.
Okay, sure. I don't know, I'd probably pick the Alliance.
Okay.
Just because that's what I would...
Okay, that's good.
That sounds what... Why, what would you...
No, that's what I have always been.
Yeah?
I started out... If there's any Warcraft nerds here...
Which if you're listening to this, you probably,
right.
if you've made it this far...
Since I started in 2004, my first was a human paladin. And I've played, like, no mages and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I've tried to play... Because if you pick a server, you can only be on one side. You can't have Horde and Alliance on one server. At least the last time I played, who knows? They might have changed it with numerous expansions. But like you want to play the game. You don't want everybody to know you're online. Okay, I just want to play by myself. So you go to a different server and you're like, I'm going to be Horde. And I've tried playing Tauren and Undead and stuff like that. That'd be another cool thing. You didn't get to see Undead. Which is just undead zombies,
pretty straightforward,
basically. Yeah. It just wasn't my thing. I like pretty environments too much when I play a game. I want to go through Elwyn Forest.
Yeah.
It sounds mystical and pretty.
Yeah, see, that's cool.
I don't like starting out in Undercity.
Yeah.
Which is the undead one. Mulgore is kind of cool, but
yeah. I guess when I play a lot of like fantasy games and stuff is that every other genre is so stuck in like post-apocalyptic, the world has fallen, like I don't know, give me, like you said, like mystic forests and high elves and magic spellcasting, mage shit, and that's cool. Like I like that. I love those fantasy elements.
I've played a lot of MMOs.
Yeah.
I've played a lot of...
Do you do Elder Scrolls Online?
No.
I've been thinking of starting Elder Scrolls Online. It looks like they've fixed a lot of the issues that they had at launch with it.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
I know it looks like it had kind of a poor launch, but it looks like they've got a really nice little game going, and it...
I have a secret.
Yeah?
I haven't played Elder Scrolls since Morrowind.
Ooh, really? That's surprising.
Never played... Oh, man. I love Morrowind, and I love the earlier incarnations. But as soon as Skyrim hit, I just feel like everybody and their grandmother plays Skyrim.
Yeah.
Which is cool and great. I'm glad a lot of more people are getting into it, but it's just like, that used to be my thing. You know what I mean?
I know, I kind of like the earlier ones where it was a little more...
role-playing.
You had to pick your class and you had to know where to pump your skills and what you were doing. And in Skyrim, they really opened it up to where you can change on the fly and do.
I don't like
and which
that.
is I mean, it's fun. It works really well. But I don't know. There's something to be said for when you start the game.
Committing.
I'm going to play as a mage, and so I need to know I need to put my stats into these categories and pick this sign and do this.
EverQuest.
Yeah.
EverQuest. If you pick the wrong fucking race, because pretty much every game has like racial passive traits and stuff. Fucking EverQuest fucking counted. I mean, if you were a human warrior versus a troll warrior, troll warrior is going to be stronger.
Yeah.
You had to really get into it there.
I really wanted to play Morrowind when it came out and didn't have a PC that could run Morrowind, but Oblivion was like like my first entry really into the series.
Since this is turning into an MMO podcast or RPG, did you ever play? What about like Heroes of Might and Magic and stuff?
No, I never got into it.
That's kind of I guess maybe my jumping off point. It was early Might and Magic, and then EverQuest and Diablo.
Yeah, I know you were
like
a big
that.
EverQuest.
When I was a kid,
yeah.
I've been in it since a young age. And then when WoW came out in 2004, I was 10, 11, and holy shit. Like, if you ask me anything about WoW Classic, like, for sure I know.
I'm gonna check out my download code. I'm gonna see what it is.
Well, even now, I think WoW is like free to play until level 20.
See, that's cool. That's enough to get me hooked.
Yeah.
Or kill.
That's their goal.
or kill a couple weeks until I hit level 20 and.
Oh man.
Couple days. Is it one where you? Is it one where you level like super fast until you hit the cap?
Well, now it might be.
Yeah.
Even I mean, it was always EQ coming off of EQ. It was always quicker for sure. But I mean, there would be nights. I mean, me and a friend would, hey, let's start a new character, and then overnight would get 20. But I mean, you've got to really kind of go at it, know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Now though, I mean, I think they even raised the cap to maybe like 100, 110, which is
because I think I remember seeing commercials on TV for expansions where they're like, play now and get instant level 100 loot.
I don't like that. Play the game, you know what I mean?
I know.
Don't.
I was big into Destiny there for a while too, and Destiny started doing some of that too, where it was like, the level cap was
right now
30, and then you could hit 300 light level, and then be like, but a new player, you can get this item, and it puts you right at the level cap. I'm like,
I don't like
why don't you play like it didn't? It don't even take that long to get there. Play the game and go through the story. And,
like right now, I'm kind of balancing between. There's a game called 7 Days to Die. It's kind of in development hell. They're still in alpha. It's been a couple of years. I like it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And then I've been bouncing back between that and DC Universe Online. Fucking love that. But right now, DC has a level up to level 30 right away. Be max level. It's like, no, fucking play the game.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I ended up getting my old account and stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to... Because I was like, level 30 tier 2 gear, a tank. I'm like, I'm not going to jump right into that. I'm going to play it over again.
Yeah.
So I started a new character, and as soon as I started a new character, they're like, do you want to be level 30? I'm like, no.
Just play the
Just
game.
let me play the fucking game.
Yeah.
God damn it. We should do a gaming podcast.
Yeah, we should.
While we're on gaming, and we're talking about Warcraft, my Kickstarter for the Indie Gamer
Oh, this is
magazine's
really
out.
cool. You guys should support him on this one.
We're about halfway there already. I'm not asking for that much, just enough for fees and stuff to get started. So it's a very small startup. But yeah, I think I shared it on the Shut Up I Like This.
You should. If you haven't, you should share it again.
But yeah, I'll share it again, and it meant a lot to me. You guys don't even have to pledge if you
Just share it.
Yeah, just share it. Give me a share.
Yeah.
It'd mean a lot to me. But yeah, we're about halfway there, and things are looking good. So check that out. What
You got some, maybe we should go back. You got some trivia that we can
yeah,
wrap it up with here?
flipping around to it. Before we get into trivia, what's the one thing that you think is sets it apart? Or one thing they did right?
Oh, back to the movie.
Yeah, the movie. Yeah.
Back to the movie.
The actual movie, not the video game.
One thing that I think it does right is I really like the weight behind the orcs. They felt heavy when they were swinging those big hammers, and like I said, punching humans and
Crushing them.
crushing people and shit.
Throwing horses at them.
I feel like that was
That
a
was
neat scene
awesome,
in
yeah.
particular. It's difficult with CG characters to get weight behind
Physics
them. I feel like
and
sometimes
gravity.
Sometimes DC has this problem a little bit.
Floaty.
Sorry, Jeff, but
Fine.
they look a little. They don't have
Floaty.
weight behind punches and stuff, and I think they did a good job in this. Maybe I'd be curious. Do you think they worked with like the Blizzard animators
I think they did.
and artists?
I think there's don't quote me on this, but I think when I was reading, they said something about having lead developers and stuff from WoW, and a lot of the effects guys were huge WoW addicts.
Yeah.
And they, would play on
There
set
has to be
and stuff.
crossover. You'd be dumb to make a Warcraft film and
Without
not
WoW addicts.
and not just go to Blizzard and be like, you guys, this is your characters.
Yeah.
Tell me how to animate them.
Well, I mean, Blizzard might have like their own movie production company kind of thing. I don't know.
I'm not sure on that.
But it is, they were heavily involved.
But Blizzard's got a fuck ton of money.
For sure. Yeah, but I know for a fact
Yeah.
that they were involved for sure.
Yep.
I would say the directing.
Good direction.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Especially achieving those scenes, those battle scenes with CG and motion capture. That's some Peter Jackson level shit. Mm-hmm. And he's, by the way, what was his name? Duncan Jones?
Give me a minute. I can tell you.
Fucking director's David Bowie's son. I had no idea. I was looking up the director, and it's like, son of David Bowie, because Bowie died like during the late production of this film from cancer.
Yeah, Duncan Jones.
And it said his father, David Bowie, passed away from cancer.
Oh, that's right. He did the movie Moon.
Oh, okay, yes.
2009 with God damn, give me a minute. I'm terrible
was,
about it on the spot. Sam Rockwell.
What was? Yeah, that was fantastic.
That
was a fantastic
God damn,
film.
can we do Moon on this podcast? I don't care if it fits our.
What was? What's his other known for? There's
Source Code?
Source Code with Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that one.
Oh, and we were talking about that. Mute is out on Netflix with
I want to see that too.
Who's
with
in
Paul
Mute?
Rudd?
Yeah, Paul Rudd. Yep.
God, I love Paul Rudd. His
So that
performance
makes
in Role
sense that if
Models.
you look at the beginning, he did a David Bowie concert as his first.
Really?
Because when I looked at this, I thought, oh,
Moon was his first feature film.
yeah,
He's only done Moon, Source Code, Warcraft, and Mute.
yeah.
That dude's got talent.
Okay, here's my prediction, and this is not bold by any take because they do this all the time, but Duncan Jones, either Marvel or DC, will get a hold of him
Or try to.
or try to and be like, do Green Lantern.
There's some stuff that kind of pointed me at Green Lantern in Warcraft.
Really?
light leads to darkness, but the darkness can lead to light.
Yeah.
And then the fell magic, how it was green as he was saying it. I'm
Sure.
like, Green Lantern.
Sure. He'll be one of those directors that I think they'll get a hold of because
I would hope so.
he's got the chops to do it in movies like Moon, which is incredible.
That's a great
And he's
film.
shown with Warcraft, even though
He's got the CG side.
maybe if it didn't make back its budget, whatever, I'm not worried about that. He can work within that scope.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, I think, like I said just a minute ago,
Give
to
him
get those battle shots with CG and stuff, that's Peter Jackson level shit.
Yeah.
Peter Jackson's regarded as this all-knowing, incredible director. This guy fucking crushed it
Yeah.
on his fourth feature film, or third feature film.
Yeah. DC, give him a call. Give him Green Lantern. Give him something.
Yeah, that dude's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready for some trivia?
Didn't you have something about Bruce Campbell?
Yeah, well,
I've been waiting.
something, kind of.
I'm curious.
Along the lines. We'll get there.
Okay.
Okay. Don't look. The first one's my favorite. I'm gonna play a little game here.
Okay.
This person contacted Blizzard to make the movie. Blizzard said, no, especially not to you.
Oh, it's got to be U-Bowl.
It's
Who the fuck else would? That's U-Bowl.
U-Bowl contacted Blizzard to make the movie, and they said, no.
Oh.
We don't want you ruining our stuff or potential sales. Like,
No
you're
shit.
out.
You know, we talk about movies that we like. There are movies I hate, and House of the Dead, U-Bowl.
One of the worst films I've ever
have
seen.
ever seen. It is
Ever.
terrible.
I remember I got that at the pawn shop for $1. I watched it. Girlfriend came home and said, what are you doing? I said, I just watched the worst movie I've ever seen. She's like, really? How bad was it? I'm like, let's play Frisbee. It was bad.
Yeah.
The adaptation for the movie is taken from Warcraft 1 and some books, Rise of the Horde and Last Guardian.
I could probably sit down and read the books.
There's a lot.
I know.
It's like, this
like
is
Star
some
Wars
D&D level shit
Yeah.
right here. As much as I love this stuff, there are people who are fucking 6 inches deep in it.
You just got one downvote in the comments.
Yeah, I know. There's some people who are very deep into it who, if they heard us talk about this, would probably murder us. Like, even though I got a pretty good grasp on the world and I've played the games, holy shit, there's a lot. For instance, Grommash Hellscream can be seen throughout the film. Grommash Hellscream is a big character in the first game and stories and stuff. He's noticeable. He's got a pretty prominent like ponytail, and he's got special kind of maybe that's who has Doomhammer. Maybe it's Grommash Hellscream. I think. See, like this, like I know Grommash Hellscream and I know Doomhammer, but I can't
put
like
the two
I would
together.
probably get fucking beat up right now by some hardcore WoW guys.
Yeah.
See, this I think would help the film a lot. For the role of King Lane, who was played by Dominic Cooper, this actor was he read the script and met with the director,
Who was it?
Colin Farrell.
Oh.
I think that would have been a good pick.
Yeah.
I like Colin Farrell, and I think he,
Yes.
as the king,
Because, see, I had to check really quick. I thought that Dominic Cooper was maybe a little young
to be the king.
for the role, because in my mind, I'm always thinking, like, oh, the king is like Sean Bean.
Right.
And like an older person.
Right.
Yeah. I thought that he was maybe a little young for it, and so that would have been cool.
I like Colin Farrell. I think he would, as the king, I think he would have done really well.
Yeah, and again,
it's a bummer that they didn't get him, especially since he met with Duncan Jones and read the script.
I wonder
like,
why.
what
I wonder why he turned it down, or wonder why they turned him down. I wonder what the.
I don't know. It's a bummer.
Let's get him on the show. We get him on the podcast. We'll ask him.
Colin Farrell. This is another just tiny detail. I'll explain to you what it is. As the Alliance is riding through the woods in the background, you can see a summoning stone.
Cool. What's a summoning stone?
A summoning stone it requires a party of 4, I think, minimum. So, like, let's say your buddy, let's say you and your 2 friends started out as humans, and you guys are in L1 Forest. Well, your buddy joined the party late, and he made a fucking night elf, and he's clear across the other side of the world. Shit, can't remember the night elf, or anyway, they're over there.
Beside the point. They're over here on the map.
They're way over there. Hard to play together. If you get, I think it's 4 people. You have to have 4 people. If you make a party, you click on the summoning stone, click who you want to summon. Everybody else has to click on it. You channel it for a while, and then boom, it teleports that person there.
Cool.
There's summoning stones all throughout the world, and like that used to be a big thing, like to get places.
It's a form of fast travel.
Yeah. And then pretty soon, if you had a buddy who was a warlock, you could get a summoning stone, and warlocks could summon people easier and stuff, but it's beside the point. Okay. God, I want to play WoW now. I still have my account.
If you log in, they'll probably give you a level 700 gear just for playing, Jeff.
God, that's stupid. I'm going to save the one you want for last.
I hate you.
Duncan Jones is the son of David Bowie we talked about.
It's cool.
This is pretty cool too. Another little detail, when Khadgar defeats Medivh, there's a yellow aura that kind of comes around him. In the game, when somebody levels up, there's this big boost of yellow, and it goes boosh.
Oh, cool.
You level up.
Cool.
So I thought that was kind of cool. It's like you leveled up.
Yeah.
God, that's cool.
Nice detail.
This is really cool. Medivh burning, when he burns all of Khadgar's papers and books and stuff.
There's a nice effect. I like that shot.
Practical effect.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that explains why it looked so good.
Right?
Yeah.
It was incredible. Yeah, no CGI. That was all practical.
Yeah, that's neat.
That was a really good shot. And then the baby of Duratan and Durak. They name him, I forget what it is, Goel, something like that. But that is Thrall. That's the future guy who kind of bands back together the orcs after the wars. And
cool.
He becomes like the leader, and he has a huge journey. I think he's still around in the franchise. I think he's still alive, but I think he stepped down as leader, and I think maybe Grommish is up there somewhere. It's been a while since I've caught up, but last I knew, he's still alive. So that's really cool that baby is Thrall.
Yeah,
it's cool.
You're supposed to see more of him in 2 and 3.
That pisses me off because he's got a really long journey. I mean, he does this, he goes there, he defeats this person.
It's not dead 100%. It's not looking good, but it's not 100% dead.
Yeah. And then before we started recording, where somehow we got on the subject of Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
I have kind of along the lines of the Bruce Campbell trivia thing. At one point, set to direct
Sam Raimi. That's right. I do remember him being attached to it. So if Sam Raimi would have directed it, which would have been awesome.
That would have been cool.
Fucking awesome. I wonder if that's why they had the boomstick line.
Oh, maybe.
In the film. Do you think so?
I mean,
I don't know if that's
kind of a thing.
I don't know if that's what they're called in the game or whatever. But as soon as I seen that, being a big Army of Darkness, Evil Dead fan, I was like,
boomstick.
This is my boomstick. So Bruce Campbell would have been in it. He would have had a cameo if Sam Raimi would have directed it.
Really
He'd have found a way to hit Bruce with a tree branch or something.
Colin Mulvey was in this.
Yeah, who the hell's that?
He's KG Beast and BBS and stuff. He was in it as like a soldier.
Cool.
Yeah, I never saw him. Huh. But it's just stuff like that. It's like, really? So there's your trivia.
Wasn't Peter Jackson attached to like the Halo franchise right around the same time that Sam Raimi was attached to Warcraft? Now that I think about it, I think that was like the same time period. Because remember, for the longest time, Peter Jackson was going to do Halo. and then that just like is completely fallen through and is never gonna happen.
I don't like Halo.
I'm actually playing Halo, the Master Chief Collection for the first time.
I can't believe I said that out loud. No, I'm not.
And on camera.
Yeah, I'm not a big Halo guy.
Yeah. I think they're fun. I mean, I'm only playing the first one right now, but I think it's fun.
I remember playing it.
I'll play through the rest of them.
When I was in middle school, going over to a buddy's house, we're all playing Halo 2. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll play. How are you killing us? I'm like, I'm just a gamer.
Yeah.
I just get
A
it.
lot of GoldenEye, kids.
Right.
Played a lot of GoldenEye before this
We
Halo.
couldn't even aim then, son.
We had one motherfucking thumbstick, and you had to hold the button up here to do it.
Yeah, you
and
had to stop moving.
Standing in one spot.
So there's your
Rumor
trivia.
has it in GoldenEye, if you plugged in 2 controllers.
Whatever.
I think that was a thing that you
No
could.
way.
Yeah,
I don't believe you.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look that shit up.
So
now.
there's trivia. We did our 1 point. You got any final thoughts? Anything else you want to say about Warcraft? Are you gonna play? Maybe.
I'm gonna see what that download code is when
Yeah.
I get home, and probably if I've got free shit that hasn't expired, I might as well try it.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah. Play some Hearthstone.
Yeah, Hearthstone's cool.
Yeah.
That's. See, you were in the world you didn't even know,
Yeah.
which is funny.
Yep. Because it's a fun game.
It makes me want to play WoW again, but I can't do it to myself. It's weird. It's weird that a game can kind of. It's like crack. I mean, it's World of Warcraft, really.
Yeah.
I would get really into it again, like I did with Classic. So I kind of keep my distance with it.
Yeah. Well,
but it's a lot of fun.
all your time is going to be occupied with that big Hitman Collector's Edition. You're going to be playing.
That's some fun news.
That's a funny story. You should tell that story before we wrap it up.
I'll just do it real quick now. My woman was here with the girls, 3-year-old, 1.5-year-old. I ran to get gas for the power washer. We're doing some power washing and stuff. Within the time that I went to the gas station and got home, probably 15 minutes, she was working on dinner. I came inside and I saw the big Hitman thing on the TV, and I was like, oh, Hitman ad. And then I went outside and I fueled up the power washer. I came back in or to get ready for dinner. I sat down and it said download pending. Hitman will be available in 187
pre-order,
days.
yeah.
Yeah, the pre-order. And I was like, what? And then I looked into it further. My 3-year-old pre-ordered the $100 pre-order pack of Hitman.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck.
Not just like the game.
Yeah, not the game.
Like the
Like
gold.
the
gold
the
edition.
platinum edition. Yeah,
Fucking-
so
yeah. And of all franchises, Hitman.
Yeah,
Sorry
I
if there's
like-
any Hitman fans out there.
I
but
remember playing Hitman on like GameCube and shit. I like Hitman, but I'm more.
that is not one that I would pay $100.
No, I'm a huge Madden guy. I don't pay $100 for Madden.
Yeah. And I think you got a refund from Sony.
Yep.
didn't ya?
I called them. Took a little bit, but we ended up getting it reverted. So.
That's cool.
Yeah, I didn't have to.
Cool that they didn't give
didn't
you
have to
like.
beat Mike. I don't think the dude believed me, because I was on the phone with him and I was like, "Hey, my daughter was playing with my controller. She pre-ordered Hitman. I didn't want that. Could we like revert it? Can I get my money back?" He's like, "So your daughter had your controller?" I was like, "Yeah, she."
You should have been like.
She pre-ordered.
You should have been like, have you ever had kids?
Probably not.
Probably not. Let me tell you how kids work. Everything in the house is theirs. They touch everything, especially things with buttons.
And I kept going through the story. And he's like, "Okay, so your daughter didn't mean to do it." Like, no, dude, she's 3. She didn't mean to do it. So it was a long conversation, but eventually I got it sorted out.
Cool.
But there was that.
I'm glad they gave you your money back.
Me
and not
too.
Like, here's $100 worth of Sony PlayStation credit.
That's what they said. They're like, "So you just want me to put this back in your PSN wallet?" I was like,
I don't want $100 in PlayStation
I'm like, can't
credit.
you just put it back on my debit card? Yeah, I can. Give me a moment. Okay, thanks.
It's your job that you paid for.
Sorry for asking. Yeah, that was
Fucker.
fun. How do we get here?
I don't know. How do we get?
I don't know.
How do we get anywhere in this podcast, Jeff?
So, Warcraft.
Watch the film.
Yeah, give it a go. Even if you don't know anything about Warcraft or World of Warcraft.
I really didn't. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's
liked
like if you like Lord of the Rings and stuff.
Game of Thrones.
It's just a high fantasy.
Yeah.
I think the story's relatively simple. Guy opens gate to another world, orcs come in, and they have to stop them. Pretty straightforward. But
Watch Bright. Pretend that Bright is a sequel.
there you go.
Set in the future.
And I mean, it's not so one-sided. It's not humans are the good guys, orcs are the bad guys necessarily. You get a lot of character development on the orc side, which I think is really cool because when you play the game, I mean, there's two sides of it.
Yeah.
And you can play each side. So I like they show each side. So did you have anything you want to plug? Anything you want to talk about? How are your pictures doing?
Phantasmdigital.com. Name of my website. You can see all my photography work on there. I've got Minnesota Vikings prints and other stuff from around. A lot of black and white photos.
I think I saw one of the Angel.
Yeah. I just
pretty
posted that one the other day. Thank you.
that.
Yeah. There's all kinds of cool stuff on there. Check that out. You might see something you like.
I saw something I liked.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I would just say if I haven't shared it, I'll share it again. It's the Indie Gamer magazine right now. Kickstarter, I got, when this releases, I think I'll have about 16 days left. Already halfway there, doing good, and look to get that funded soon. Get the magazine going, and just keep listening, keep sharing, keep watching. It means a lot to us. I mean, we're just a couple of nobodies, just like talking about movies.
Yeah.
It's amazing that as many people watch us as they do.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
What the fuck are you doing here?
So thank you guys, and PantheonNetwork.com. Find everything on there. Audio, video, merchandise, t-shirts and stuff. Comedy Bowl Podcast is up there. They've been on here a couple of times. Go give them a go. And I think that's pretty much it. Do you have any suggestions? Anything you want to talk about next week?
I don't know. We'll have to talk off air about what we want to do next. We've kind of done two similar-ish.
Yeah, it's weird.
in
John
style.
Connor and Warcraft had a lot of similarities.
Yeah, we did.
Not necessarily in story or anything like that.
No, but just parallels between the two films that you could draw.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll have to see what we want to do next. I feel like we should mix it up. We've done some big budget. Maybe we should do some kind of lower scope films.
Yeah, we'll have to look
like some of the Jet Li Black Mask. You know,
that would be awesome.
Yeah, let's see if we can find something along that style to do.
I know lots along that line.
Yeah.
We'll definitely find something. Thank you guys for listening. See you next week, and watch some movies. Thank you guys.